can't wait to take all these badges off. Debadge this thing. Again, I ordered PPF for it, so I'll be able to PPF all of this. I hope this seat works because it certainly looks cool.
So when we apply weight to this, sitting on it, we just want to exercise some caution. Like I said, it's not the ideal.
I'm not going to hammer on this thing here. We're just going to get me on it.
Perfect.
Okay. Did you put the dropper all the way up?
I didn't mess with the dropper.
So that's all the way up. So I'm a little long.
Yeah, we're gonna lower this seat down all the way.
Shoot, I could have squeezed the large.
Potentially. How tall are you?
6'2".
Nah, I'd still want to be on an extra large at 6'2".
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably like the cusp.
Yeah, well, you look at Yeti's dimensions and they're, it's give or take. It's like I'm in the middle. Like in the middle of large and XL.
So XL is going to be more comfortable. Large is going to be faster.
Yeah, well, I like comfortable. I need all the comfort I can get.
And typically that just means that the elements like this, the head tube is probably going to be a little bit taller. You'll feel, and should feel closer to you. All right, so we're at this extreme with our frame in the seat height. If you find that you're not using the dropper, we can eliminate.
Yeah, but that feels good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't, right off the bat, it doesn't look bad. It looks actually pretty good. Are you able to drop your heel down for me? Yeah, okay, that doesn't look bad. Go ahead and relax. I'm gonna rotate your wheel so that way your foot comes up and right about there, okay? So what I'm looking to do here is just just see where your knee is kind of falling. Yeah. Go ahead and grab your rear brake and hold that brake in. And I'm gonna lift your ankle a little bit. Is it okay if I touch your knee?
Yeah. See, my taint is already hurting. 1 second in.
You don't have shorts on.
That's true.
Shorts on, but your feet aren't numb. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna slide this seat a little bit farther forward. You can go ahead and come off the bike.
Get off this thing the wrong way.
So some of it is we do have some limitations with the dropper posts, right? So we have this extreme where we can this is like full insertion down into this frame. It stops at this collar, so any seat height adjustment is going to come from the dropper itself. We're at this median point in the saddle. We're going to slide forward probably as far as we can.
You can tell by the plumb bob telling you if where the pedals are flat, if my knee is, or my shin is perpendicular.
Pretty much. So if your knee, when we have the pedals level like that, and ideally we'd like your knee to kind of bisect the pedal spindle.
Okay.
Some of that can be manipulated when we're pedaling, so it's give and take. Right now we're in a static situation where you're not really moving on the bike, and if my ankle is in play and I lift my ankle up over the pedal, now my knee will shift forward.
Yeah.
And if I drop it down, my knee drops back. So that can be part of that pedaling dynamics that affect how our knee tracks over the pedal. So we can get close here, but it won't be like hands down, like 1,000% perfect.
Because I'm shifting around, moving around, in and out of the saddle, that kind of stuff.
And the frame itself is dynamic. So when you hit a bump, you go in and out of compression. A lot of times we'll set stuff up higher than normal, knowing that the rider is gonna go into compression and sag that down.
So how do you deal with seat level? How do you know that it's the right angle?
You will tell me when you sit on it. So everybody's body is different. We can start at what we believe to be a base, where we think something is level, and then as you sit on it, you'll be able to indicate to me whether you feel your body weight's being drawn forward or backwards. And this is all dependent on, potentially, do I have this bike level right now? Because it's a mountain bike, and we're sort of set up for like in a road trainer, I'm probably not quite as level as it could be. So once it comes down off of this, I'll seek to re-level your saddle. But likely, it's most often, it's not. People feel comfortable on a level saddle 90% of the time. But if this seat post style caused some issues, I would say at that point we could go into a regular pillar seat post, which is just a traditional seat post. You can do it like that.
Can this frame accept that? With this, isn't this frame set up for a dropper specific?
Do you know what the seat post diameter is? Is it 30.9?
I think they are, yeah, the big ones. So
We can get something.
Yeah.
Like maybe a Ritchie post or something along those lines.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose my
We'll get some paint.
This is matchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you some Sharpie.
It is pretty matching.
I like it to look cool.
It's gonna look cool regardless. I mean, it's a Yeti in Espanol, a jetty. Perfect. And I am going to lift your ankle just a little bit. Most people will pedal with it slightly ankle up.
Heel down, toe down.
Heel up. So most people will pedal and pull
Yeah, I have to
heels
fight
up.
it. I don't have a tendency to want to pedal, toes down. That's where my feet would go numb.
Good. So where do you?
So I fight that. I fight that all the time. So I tend to over exaggerate and come down. But yeah, I'll probably end up here.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Good.
So I'm ending
That's-
up flat.
Okay. So we're still a little bit behind this axle here. So if this is the axle here, and you can see where that plumb bob is falling. Outside of a,
So that way I'm like, I feel like I've got to hold myself up.
yeah,
Am I always supposed to feel that? Or
Yes.
am I supposed to feel balanced?
you should. So you're gonna have a sports ready position. Have you
Okay.
played other sports in the past?
Yeah.
Football.
Triple points thing, yeah. Yeah, but I feel, I'm got
Too much on the balls.
100 pounds on my hands,
Gotcha.
which I'm usually pretty good at fighting that, but then that puts pressure on my darn taint.
Yeah. And you're inflexible. So, think about how I would alleviate that. I mean, aside from coming up higher in the handlebar, we have some limitations in the seat post. Do we have any other like higher angle or higher rise stems here? Maybe like a or a sharper angle, like a 45-degree angle on the stem.
Yeah.
Something a little bit higher. I'm not sure if that's coming off the cog in the back. Yeah. Just gonna take a look at a stem and see if we have anything kind of hiding out. Because I think that will be, so if we're having trouble, if we feel like we're just leaning too far forward.
I mean, I'm gonna be tricep crazy. This feels exactly like my Giant.
Okay.
Or like there is massive weight
Right there.
right here where I'm like
Okay.
flexed.
The shoulders are up, so if I was basing it off the shoulders, I'd want to come down in the stem. So let me try that real quick. Pop off and let me lower that stem and see if we can get your shoulders to line up before we go down the road of changing stems.
Oh, you mean take a spacer out?
Yeah, we'll move a spacer to the other side of the to the top side of the handlebar. So when your shoulders are pushed back and you're just leaning forward, what we want to do is try to drop your shoulders, and that would be an indicator that the handlebars are too high. And we can lower them down and allow your shoulders down, and your body will just fall into position.
It's just frustrating because I'm so limited by pure discomfort than I am by athletic ability.
Did you have any accidents when you were younger, or
Nope.
Have you taken up yoga?
Nope.
I wish I knew where to find a good yogi. If I could recommend anybody to a yoga instructor, climb on.
That did surprisingly change it a little bit.
Yeah. I can come down another spacer. Did it change in a positive way?
I think so.
Let me come down one more spacer because I can still see a little bit of rise in your shoulder blades. So these adjustments are, they happen about 5 millimeters at a time.
Because my tendency would be, I'm going to take all the spacers out and see what happens.
Slam it. And then we'll have you take this for a ride. You'll want to ride it for a couple times and then make that decision based on that, based on ride quality.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can start playing with this stuff too, as I'm riding.
And then if it came down to it and you wanted to swap out and you wanted me to trim the steerer tube, I'd be happy to do that as well. It'd be cool to get you out at the not the Fat Tire Festival, but the 12-hour. It's just a fun place to hang out. So we're just taking the spacer off the bottom, moving it to the top. It's 5 mil. And we go right back up here. That would be a good, so they do that in the spring. So I wouldn't be opposed to doing a follow-up or a dynamic suspension tuning for you out there, because I'll be up there anyway for that event.
Okay. That'd be a cool little video to make. We could GoPro that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what that does is it'll like trail side tune suspension and handle like baseline, rebound, compression controls, low speed compression, and kind of unlock maybe some, if you have any mystery as to what's going on with suspension. It's and fine tune some fit issues at the same time.
So if this ends up being the height, then I can just cut. I cut then remove the spacers altogether.
Yeah.
Or do you
well,
want-
you would
you
leave.
wanna remain a 5?
I'd leave a 5 on top.
Got it.
Go ahead and try that again. But you'd want to ride it for a little bit to figure that out. Relax your elbows. How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, I can't relax. I have to hold myself.
Do you want to take it outside for a ride? And kind of feel it out? You can go back and forth between a couple spacers.
Yeah,
That way
I think this is this feels right. It just, it just feels so far away. Like I feel like I'm so much weight. Like I feel like the handlebars are so far away from where, I feel like I want them to be here.
Okay.
But does that mean I'm up too upright?
Yeah. I mean, so the angles here start to look a lot better. right? So we start to have.
So this is the proper angle.
We start to get into a sports ready position, but your body dictates the proper angle, not me.
So what's happening now is all that, I understand the shorts, but all that, so right on my sit bones and then the heel of my hands.
Okay.
It's just so I can feel it like digging into my sit bones. And then what happens is that digging just
eats
in
away.
3.5 miles, I'm hurting, then I'm doing this, I'm going back, I'm coming up, I'm all over the bike to try to figure out what works.
Gotcha. So think about riding a bike like Tyrannosaurus Rex. Itty bitty arms, and it's okay to ride the bike. So we're not holding on, we're just wrapped around. We can reach out for a break, but there's
most of the time I'm end up riding like this.
Okay. So we maybe want to be farther away if that's the case. So if we're reaching out into a comfortable position and the bar is hitting us here on the palm, as opposed to in the on the hand with a relaxed in an attack position, and just knowing that we're going to lean the bike into corners and not push the bike through a corner. But if we're immediately gravitating towards like palm striking the bar, then we need to move that bar out a little bit further and away from the palm. And
because I'm like triceps fully engaged.
okay.
Like I'm having to lock out in order to keep myself in a reasonable position. That's why I wonder a slightly longer but bigger angle stem.
You could come up a little,
10 degree or something. And this is probably
this is probably positive
8, 6.
I'd have to take a look at it to be positive, but it might be like even 16, 17.
Really?
Yeah. But so
I think what I'm going to have to do is just start riding and then
stretching, right? So initially I had major lower back pain. And I was really, I would get irritated 25 miles into a ride, or if I was racing, it would happen at like 12 miles. I was like, my back, the muscles were super tight. And the solution is to raise your handlebar as high as you can to try to get that off, get the weight off, which wasn't helping, or do more core workouts. And I thought, well, I can hold a plank for about a minute, or over a minute. That's reasonably fit for mountain biking. I know it's not an extreme test, but it's okay. So I had to have a deeper problem, and then it turned out I had scoliosis, mild scoliosis. So through stretches, we're able to relieve a lot of that and can ride for 50, 60 miles of trail. There's still discomfort, and it's just muscular fatigue. With that said, stretching went a long way towards helping me figure it out. So you might try some basic yoga poses to open up hamstrings a little bit more. I don't know that there'll be a way to correct anything with IT band, if there's IT band issues. Those are like steel belts.
Yeah, not much you can do.
But maybe just getting used to some stretches. I looked at my dog, and my dog every morning gets up and stretches before he moves. I'm just like, well, that makes sense. That's that natural position. Or we were babysitting for my niece, and she woke up from a nap, and the first thing she did was just stretch right out. And when she drops something on the floor, she does this squat to pick it up. It's not this, it's this. And she's like, she can sit in that position. That just hurts me looking at it. But that's her flexibility. That you can build.
I never
back
have
in.
any problem. Like I can hold like it's uncomfortable, but none of the shoulder stuff bothers me. It's only,
it's at the seat, and it's sit bones only.
Yeah.
And
it's not like
the
for
nose
front of the
isn't-
pelvis. It's
Okay.
just the sit bones.
And you've gone wider.
The only thing I've gone is this is wide.
Okay.
As wide as it gets. So I haven't gone narrow. That's a narrow seat, so I haven't even ridden that seat yet, or a medium seat. the other
Okay.
seat I have that I should try.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe I have narrow. I just assumed that I was XL because I'm,
So
I tried the trick where you sit on a piece of cardboard and try to use a chalk, and it just,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I couldn't. My sit bones don't protrude enough to get it.
yeah, there's sometimes there's like asometers.
Yeah,
pretty much.
or they have like the gel pack or something. I need to, I guess, buy one of those.
And you can sit on that, and that comes down to angle of back. So you want to sit in a cycling position when you're on it.
Yep.
You want to take an average over that, and even that's not a
that
guarantee.
accurate, yeah.
And it's a guide to that one singular manufacturer's saddle.
And that's why I think what I need to do is just keep buying saddles.
Is this a 155 width? Is that what that is?
I think it's a 150.
155.
Is it?
Yeah. So the medium thing with bikes, you put a helmet on. 80% of helmets sold are mediums.
Yeah.
A seat, 80% of seats sold are mediums. You might do a medium or that 143.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what the smaller size is from them. It might be a 139.
Tried that, yeah.
As the smallest. Hey, Stuart. Yeah. Do we have demo saddles, right? Yeah. Do we have what's a maybe a narrow SMP?
Yeah, there's that stony one, which is just past that.
Well, the problem is the only way to find out is to ride it. I have to ride it for miles and miles.
It's fine. They're demo saddles. Yeah. I'm sure, Stuart, you wouldn't have any issue loaning Matt a demo saddle, would you? No. And then if it was something you were like, hey, I don't want, you can always just drop it in the mail.
Yeah.
Back. Wouldn't matter. For sure. Hang tight. Let me see what I can do about a saddle.
That
real
saddle
quick.
looks so good. So anyway, this
looks
is the
awesome.
kind of discussion, the give and take that we think through while we're figuring out how to fit. And it's hard on the mountain bike because of the trainer, but I'm going to keep working at the fitting part. But the bike is done. I'll have a detailing series coming up here soon.